Hello, Harbingers. I've never done a game review before, but when I saw the release of Mortal Shell 2, I thought it might be an opportunity to give a review with a different perspective. I platted the first Mortal Shell game twice on the PS4 and PS5. And I've now played about 30 hours of Mortal Shell, and the developers Cold Symmetry have made some massive changes, and they are bloody fantastic. So let's see how it stacks up to the original. The first big change: stamina removal. With stamina being removed, the game is far less clunky than the original, and combat pacing is insanely good. The one example that I've seen is the teal shell, and that shell needs speed, and with stamina removal, this is just making it so great. And with his abilities are all based around speed, stealth and poison, it's just perfect having no stamina. The next big change is the world design. The original game was quite small and very linear. With Mortal Shell 2, this all changes. You now have an open world where you can travel almost anywhere. The original game often felt very barren. Now you can get lost in the numerous dungeons, beacons and other locations. Beacons are Mortal Shell 2's travel points, and each of these need to be cleansed, which normally means clearing out a dungeon, and clearing these dungeons can have various different conditions to get them cleansed. The open world also has loads of mini bosses. You can choose to fight them or run away, very similar to Elden Ring. You may find you underpowered when you first come up against a boss, and you just go level up a couple of ranks and then come back, and great fun. So, the new game now has 8 shells. The original game had 4 base game shells, and they released 1 shell in the DLC. In the new game I found 5 of the 8, and the build variety is really nice. The original game seemed to only differentiate between the core stats like health, armor and stamina, where this seems to have changed drastically. The shells you get abilities that you unlock via shell points, and you get given shell points when you level up your harbinger. Now, these shell points you can put into abilities that suit your playstyle, or suit your weapon, or suit the tar stones that you've added to your character. The tar stones are items that you add to your sidearm, or you add to your weapon, or you add to your character, and these can increase crit stats, they can increase they can give you elemental damage like poison and fire, they can increase all sorts of stats. The nice thing is you're never locked into these abilities. They can be changed at a beacon, and this is great. So when you go into a boss fight, you may want to add fire to a weapon, or you may want to change your crit stat, or you may want to change your stagger stat, and you can swap these tar stones in and out, and you can also respec your shell abilities. The hardening mechanic is still in the game, but it feels better paired with the new sidearms and shotguns. As like the original game, you still have various seals that you carry, and these seals determine whether you're running the harden mechanic, or you're running guard, or you're running parry, and all these seals have a reward to them. The hardened seal is the most forgiving, and probably find a lot of newer players will use that. The guard and the parry seals rewards you for aggressive play, and all these defensive abilities assist in breaking the enemy's posture, which then allows for some awesome fatal animations and obviously increased damage. Last big change, boss design. Wow, these are very unique. And yeah, they never felt like bullet sponges. They got some really interesting boss mechanics. They keep you on your toes and make you think about the fight and your build. There are some difficult boss fights, but they all seem very fair. You just need to work out the mechanic or the animation or the boss's moveset, and you're good to go. It really, the bosses have been good fun. There are also some odd, goofy boss. Yeah, those are strange. Anyway, the artwork design of these bosses is pretty horrific, as you would expect for a game like this. But yeah, loving the boss fights. The developers have made this game quite accessible to almost any gamer. Firstly, you have an option of making the game easier with an item called the Slayer Seal. If you don't care about trophies or achievements and you just want to experience the game, you can get this in the central hub and off you go. There's also an option to make the game more difficult, which is called Summoning the Night, which makes the enemies tougher and more aggressive. And the ultimate hardcore mode would be running the game in no shell mode, similar to what they had in the first game. And I can imagine that's going to be really, really tough. And then another thing, are you thinking of going for the platinum or the 100% completion? Be warned, there is a bit of a grind. The one trophy that stands out, it's called Seeking the Past. It states that you've got to watch all shell memories. Now, from my experience, to unlock shell memories, you require glimpses. Okay, and glimpses you generally get from cleansing beacons. I have unlocked all memories on one shell, and that is from cleansing 19 beacons. The game has a total of 46 beacons, so I assume you would need to go into New Game Plus or even New Game Plus Plus to achieve the platinum. So just a heads up there. Although I'll definitely go for it because I'm just having so much fun with this. Anyway, let's get to the verdict. So, who is this for? I reckon this is a mandatory pickup for any Souls-like fan, and maybe even the odd newcomer, because they've made it accessible. So give it a thought. If the first game was an ambitious proof of concept, finding its footing, Mortal Shell 2 is the same kid, fully grown up. It keeps the distinct brutal identity of the original. The hardening mechanics, the dark atmosphere, the weight. It expands the scale, the roster, and the combat depth into a mature, complete action RPG that easily stands on its own 2 feet. Wow, I've been impressed. Thank you for listening, and see you harbingers soon.